All right, and now comes something big. It's something personal, and it deals with family. And I think one of the biggest opportunities that exists is family and that continued legacy that carries on. So right now, when we think of Black Detroit, how intentional should we be about legacy and thinking of legacy? You spoke on it with the moniker Bunchy, but even over and beyond, how does that expand? What does that look like? What does that feel like?
It's everything. I think if we truly understand what legacy is, then we know that the individual cannot exist without a framework, without something that produced it. So, like I mentioned earlier, you have the Messiah, the Black Messiah, written by Albert Cleage. It's a book. However, it's important. Like, again, if you're trying to do activism and organizing, you need to know about Reverend Cleage. If you're trying to do activism and organizing, you need to Detroit I Do Mine Die. Reading and learning about the revolutionary, not RAM, but the League of Black Revolutionary Workers. You need to know about Jimmy and Grace Lee Boss and so many others. Like you and I know Ron Scott. Ron Scott was a beautiful brother, very dedicated, highly intelligent, part of the Black Panther Party, part of the coalition against police brutality before he passed. Like if I, as a young whippersnapper, if I just came on the scene and like, man, I'm new, I'm just out here, baby, just support me and just being arrogant in that way, no one's going to support me. No one's going to be able to relate to me because first thing people want to ask you, any people that's worth the assault, who did you learn this from? Who did you study up under? Or what did you study? Because all what we're trying to do is nothing new. That's the importance of legacy. Now, in the legacy, not everybody's going to embrace you. Again, this is nothing new. It's part of life. Or you may have learned to someone and you finally meet them like, damn, he's an asshole. It doesn't, but you gotta be able to put it in a framework though. Like he may be or she may be an asshole. No, they may not be an asshole when you learned about them. Because a lot of us we learn through reading or through word of mouth or whatever, right? And so and also too, and we're all subjugated to these false perceptions. These pedestals that we put people on. Like we make them bigger than life, and then all of a sudden, like, oh shit, this motherfucker is not what I thought he was, right? Or she. But I think so many of us are so ambitious, and we're ambitious with our anger, we're ambitious with our rage, that we have not resolved that. Like, when we see like, oh, ain't nobody doing shit, so I'm gonna do it. But we have to ask the question: why do we perceive ain't nobody doing shit? Because in reality, somebody's doing something. We may not know what they're doing, or two, they may not be doing it the way we like them. But again, it comes back to the pain. The hurt. Like most motherfuckers are out here organizing through pain. Most motherfuckers are out here fighting through hurt. They're mad. They're mad because they had no connection to that generation before them. But they have not rationalized that pain and that hurt to be able to understand. And that's part of the legacy, the pain and the hurt. And it's not always COINTELPRO. The counterintelligence program. They definitely has a role. But also, one thing I really appreciate about Tupac, the pain of his mother being a crackhead. The pain that came from his mother who was way up here, who fell down here. He was raised in the movement, right? You love each other. You support each other. But no one's there to love, in his eyes, as a little boy. His first hero, his mother, there was no one there to love her. In her darkest hour, there was no one he thought that came to pull her out the light. And there's so many of us caught up in that same pain that Pac had. And we just didn't grow up in the movement directly, but indirectly, right? And we're carrying that pain, we're carrying that hurt. And we have to somehow transform that pain to hurt. Like anger can spark a movement. Rage can spark a movement, but it cannot sustain it. Only love can sustain it. Only transformation can sustain it. And I'm not saying that like we think love is passive. Love is not passive. Love is aggressive. Love is strong. Love is stretching. Love is challenging. Love is critical. Love is asking questions. Love is not accepting just anything. Love is pushing yourself and pushing others to be the best. But love is also is pushing you to separate yourself from the bullshit too. Like we have to rethink and reconfigure these terminologies because we're using terminology from other people to determine how we relate to each other. And that's also causing a lot of the chaos and bullshit that goes on. And we have to create a theory. And that's what I'm looking at exploring what Dr. Bobby Wright wrote in here, the importance of a black social theory. It's how to solidify the challenges and the contradictions that we have amongst each other for the purpose of black liberation. And that's where, and I think the anger and the pain, and like I said, we all have some level of anger and pain is greater in some ways. And until we resolve that, is going to prevent us from understanding the importance of legacy. And so legacy is not only something that we embrace, but legacy is something that we leave. And so what type of legacy that you're going to leave? But also, we're too subjective. We're not objective enough, and we're too YouTube channel watching motherfuckers. We're too taking shortcuts of trying to be like certain individuals versus being ourselves by learning through other individuals and shit.